Hello, everyone, and welcome to November. We are November 2021, life in COVID times and bringing connections from all around the world. We decided that while we're staying home, let's connect with people that are around and friends that are far away and we cannot afford to buy an airplane ticket. So today we have Sarika with us coming all the way from India, and she's bringing something that I am really looking forward to see. I'm just going to share my screen very quickly. And looking forward to the Fishbowl of Perspectives. Sarika is a change agent. She's a superstar, and I'm so excited to have her in our come to our group and bring to us these ideas and these conversations. For everyone that is on our group, thank you for joining us. Friends that have been with us for years now, very nice to see you again. And for the new people that have joined recently, welcome to our group, and find a way to connect with other people or look into the YouTube videos that we have posted on our YouTube channel. I'm going to stop here because everybody is here to hear from Sarika, and I will bring you on stage. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Adi. This is really delightful. Thank you for having me on this. And we are here to have some fun today. So I'll start with a very quick intro about me. But no, I don't want to introduce myself. We're going to flip it. I don't know how much you know about me, but let's make sure that all of you can introduce me to everybody else. And I have no idea how you're going to do that. So I have an activity for you. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen for that. So I'm not going to put it in presentation mode, at least not yet, because the first thing I'm going to ask you is, given the topic, what's your perspective about me? Anything. This is what I heard, one from Jason and one from a gentleman called Michael. So Jason says, I don't sleep. That's Jason Little saying that. And I'm always smiling is what I heard from a gentleman called Michael. Now, I don't know what you think about me. So as you keep telling me, I'm going to just keep typing. What do you guys think about me? What's your perspective?
Full of energy.
Okay, full of energy. Keep going.
So I really don't know anything about you other than that Artie and Cheesy were having you on this. So I figured that you must be great.
Okay, must be great. Don't know anything else about you. That's a good perspective. Fantastic. Thank you. What else?
Yeah, positive vibes.
Positive vibes. Okay, thank you. What else?
Seems to me like you're a great listener.
Great listener. Fantastic. What else? Something nasty, something bad. Come on. We can all come up with things.
Why do you want to make us think bad things about you?
I don't know, because I'm seeing too much of good stuff.
Take it. It's good.
Anything else? Okay, let's go forward with that. We're good for now. That's good. Okay, so here's more stuff about me, right? I heard somebody else also say that. Yeah, that's it. Full of energy. So I've got another one from the last meetup we did just last month. Bundle of energy, very active in the lean change community, some kind of an influencer. Somebody said I'm Jason's best friend, something. I was like, okay, seems like a new one to me. Welcoming, knowledgeable in all things related to change. Now, this is what people in the previous meetup said about me. Again, maybe they just know me just like all of you. I think all of this is fantastic. It's just your perspective about Sarika, right? Given what you know. I'm going to add more perspectives about Sarika so that next time you can remember, right? So I love movies, so I enjoy movies. I relate change and movies. Any movie I see, I can start talking about change through a movie. I enjoy that aspect. I'm an active learner. I'm comfortable saying I don't know if I genuinely don't know something. I'm a foodie. I love desserts. My favorite is affogato. I love to travel, if you can, of course, and I love to meet people, and I enjoy listening to multiple perspectives because it just enriches me. And I love board games. They are like my all-time favorite. And last but not the least, I love to challenge everything, especially if people are getting into status quo. I'm like, let's do something about it. Let's disrupt it in some way. So that's typically me. And as you can see, I use the word disrupt, unleash, and co-create for myself. It's not about you, because the only person I can change and bring change to in the world is myself. Everybody else I can only influence through myself in some way, form, or the other, right? With that as a context, I'm gonna probably, swap this and just put this slide. We just talked of perspectives, and the fact is we don't see things as they are. We just see things as we are, as we want to see them. That's our lens. And sometimes I think as change agents, we just forget that our perspective is just one of the many perspectives that are there outside. And it is important for us to listen actively and understand and value those multiple perspectives just to nudge the change forward in the right direction. So what we have today is a kind of a fun-filled activity, because I hear a lot of people saying, oh, they don't get my point. They don't understand what change really means to us. And they could be senior leadership, middle management, could be the teams, could be whoever in the context of your organization. And it's a real simple game that I brought actually to Spark the Change Toronto in the year 2019, actually. Yeah. And since then, I brought it there in the public arena, and I've been using it in most organizations. So feel free to steal it, tweak it, do whatever you want with it. It's just an approach that kind of should enable, some fun, and to show people that we just think differently because we are differently built and we are not robots, right? And I think it's important to understand, especially the way I think Sheryl Sandberg puts it, we are building products that people with diverse backgrounds use. And I think all we want our company makeup is to reflect the makeup of the people who use our products. If that is the case, people are people. We are all going to have different perspectives and use our lenses. So let's dive right in. I'm sure many of us know the 6 thinking hats, but I'm going to still not make assumptions. I'm going to give a real short introduction, because we are going to use this perspective and get into some images that we're going to see. Like you probably read in what is the Fishbowl of Perspectives, we are going to do some visual change karaoke. So now you're not going to do singing, but you're going to just have fun, let's say. So we're going to use 6 thinking hats to put on our head. Maybe literally, if you have one, feel free to go grab it. I'm all up for it. I don't have mine right now. But what do these hats stand for? So if you're wearing a white hat, you're going to think all about facts, all about data. Yeah, you're going to think about evidence, whatever is in front of you. So that's your white hat. If you have the black hat on, you're going to think about risk. You're going to think about caution. You're going to think negative, pessimism, right? That's the angle you're going to take, or the hat you're going to wear. Oh, we have the red hat with cheesy. Okay, so we are going to talk about the red hat. The red hat really talks about feelings, emotion, that angle. So yes, you get emotional, you talk about your feelings, everything around emotions and feelings. On the flip side, now you have 2 other hats. You have the green and the yellow hat. We have, interesting, George. Oh, I like this. This is getting even more fun. Okay, so the green hat is the more creative hat. So I don't know, you want to fly to the moon, the Mars, or wherever else. Yeah, Mars is taken already by a lot of people. So let's fly somewhere else. Try something new. So just get creative on the change that we're talking about. And then there's the yellow hat. Are you going to flip, George? Another color? Oh, the blue is coming after yellow. Okay, fine. We'll go with this mix for
Just
now.
have these three.
Okay, the tricolor hat there. So we have the yellow hat, which is the positivity hat. So think about change as the most positive, right? Think everything positive when you wear that hat and talk about the change from a very positive context. And then the last hat is the blue hat, which I think you don't want to use too much, not for the activity today, but what it really does is allows you to navigate. It's the controller hat. Whoever is wearing that hat could move the change to another hat. So if you see a lot of the white hat in action, you want to move it to another hat, you wear a blue hat and say, hey, maybe the next person should talk a little more facts. We would like to hear more facts, more evidence. So let's continue with the white hat. So you with the blue hat can get people to switch hats. That's what you would do in the activity. Are we good so far on the instructions?
Yep.
Okie dokie. Let's go forward then. May the force be with you. That's where we're going to go. So what is it that you're going to do? You're going to see a couple of pictures come in, and I'm just checking on how many people are we. I think we are 7 of us. Oh, man, don't go. Let's stay in the main room. We don't need to go into the breakout. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Let's stick around here and have fun together. I think all of us can get a chance with that. We have good time. So here's what's going to happen. As round 1 karaoke starts, each picture is going to take 10 seconds before it flips to the next picture. So you have like 6 to 7 pictures per round. What you could do is wear one hat and start talking about a change in context and be open about whatever change you think of. It could be change in an organization. It could be change in your own life. It could be personal change, professional change, no constraints, anything you're comfortable sharing about, looking at that picture about that change, wearing the hat that you choose. So if you're wearing a black hat and you're talking of a personal change, yeah, you know, I'm thinking of quitting a job, and then you go on, right, in a negative hat. And just keep going. Just tell us which hat you're wearing and talk about the change in your context. Are we good?
Are we just going to shout, or are we going to?
Just continue to talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Who wants to go first is all I need to know.
I can go with a red hat.
Go for it. After this.
I feel supported. I feel, oh, this is so like uplifting, so nice. And we're all together on this. We're all supporting each other, and we're all helping and bringing our best into what we're trying to do. Look at all those faces. Everybody is happy to be here. Everybody wants to be part of this change and the things that we want to make. High 5, yes. High 10, actually. Why not both hands? It was great. It is so much fun. Oh, you know what? You are taking something out, but that still feels like lighter and still supportive, and we still have something strong in hand. Time is passing, but let's enjoy what happened. Let's enjoy what we had in hands, and that was great. We had such a good time.
Woo! Fantastic.
That almost felt like a yellow hat to me.
Was it? Okay, maybe I didn't do it very well.
It's a great start.
Okay.
We're getting somewhere. Okay, who's going to go next? Because then I have a question. Do you want to do the same pictures because we just got comfortable with these pictures? Or do you want to be, innovative or creative? Or you want to take more risk, try new pictures? Who's going next? I think is the question first.
Come on, Cheesy, you want to go?
I nominate Cheesy.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I'll go.
So same set of pictures, or would you like to try something new?
Let's try something new. Let's mix it up. Sure. Why not?
So something new with a different tinge. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you'll get some similar ones, but something new. Okay.
Okay, I guess I'm wearing a red hat, so maybe I should stay with the red hat. Is that okay?
Up to you. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So, I'm really sick and tired of this job. I just can't handle it anymore. So I'm out of here. I got to get to a better place. And on my way out the door, after I leave, the very first place I'm going is I'm going to go get some comfort food because, I've had so much pressure but, oh God, I don't even know where to go with this one. You threw me a curve here. If I were like a Ninja Turtle, I wouldn't have to be leaving this job. Instead, I would be able to show my strength nope.
That's okay. It's all good.
Blank screens. Oh, there we are. So look at these people who are cheering me leaving the job. They're happy to see me go. Oh no. Oh. And I feel like everything is tangled in a knot. I can't break free. So I think I've got like some black on my hat here too for the negativity.
That was fantastic. Okay. Awesome.
I think I brought just a tinge of black negativity too, but
It was all good, well intentioned. Thank you. Awesome. George, are you going next?
Yes,
Sure,
he
I'll
is.
try it.
Another set of pictures or the same set? Which one?
Sure, another set.
Okay. May the force be with you. Okay.
Okay. So do I have to wear the same color hat all the way through?
Oh, it's up to you. Go for it.
Okay, I'll start with red also. I'm feeling like I'm feeling very small and waiting for handouts. Oh, and I've got all these people looking at me and none of them are smiling. What have I done wrong? And time is running out. So there's some data in there. I could see the time. And what direction am I going? Am I going the right direction? I'm unsure. Maybe there's some risk involved here that I could be going the wrong direction. Maybe I'm wearing a black hat. Oh, and if I make one wrong move, it'll all come tumbling down. So this black and red go well together. Let me get my balance. If I stay balanced, it'll be okay.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Awesome.
Did I pass the audition?
I guess. Definitely.
The
Anybody else?
lean change star, George.
Anybody else wanting to give it a try? I had only 3 sets of pictures, and now you know all of them.
Okay, can I go with this same set of pictures, Sarika? If it, yeah.
Perfect.
Which George performed a very good audition right now.
And which hat would you wear, or would you be switching?
Just let us start. I don't know which hat would be reflecting, so let us start with the audition, and let's see which hat is coming to my head.
And we'll guess. So let's do that.
Yeah, that could be a good way to, Yeah, I'm too small and I'm just thinking what to do with that cup. Yeah, that's it with this first visual. Yeah, I mean, they are all listening to me with a very thoughtful mind. And I have to be very, very attentive what I'm telling to them. Yeah, time always flies by. I wish I could hold that time, but unfortunately, it won't be like that. So I have to be on that river. yeah, it shows me, uh, yeah, it shows me kind of where I'm right now, in which position. And I'm just trying to fix so that we shouldn't fall down. We should always keep upright. And I'm just always, every moment, trying to fix my life. And this cube is giving me a kind of notion. Yeah, I have to be thoughtful. I have to be mindful. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. I thought that
Thank
was
you.
a mix of red, yellow, and white. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm curious if anybody else thought anything else. It'll be really nice to just think which hats were worn. Hmm.
There were some whites there for sure.
I think at this point, I felt it was like a yellow. He was going positive.
This one, I was just quite lost with this, compass, or the navigation device. I was thinking what to say with this navigation, because it's crucial, it's significant, it's very important to fix the direction, the journey, the entire journey of our life. And it's important. And the person who can fix it, plan it properly, they are the most successful people, in their own course of journey. And I'm learning all the time. So maybe I was a little bit stumble with this visual, perhaps.
That's okay. I think we all will. It depends which part of your brain starts ticking, right? At that point.
Yeah.
And is it your creative thinking that goes there, or just depending on that, then you start, okay, how am I moving? So
yeah.
So I'm
yeah, okay, please go ahead.
Go for it, please. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No. I was just thinking, how to be more creative, and what skill, what sort of practice that I need, and what sort of mindset I need to be more creative every moment. And how can I, it's very, I'm not a multitasking person, but just with this exercise, I was doing a multitasking thing. And I'm just, it's an honest confession. And I was just thinking how to switch my mind quickly and get into that subject and be more attentive, be more creative, and say something meaningful. So it's, anyway, yeah. That's
it's
all.
a good question. Let me just come back to that by asking another question, but in a moment. Would anyone else like to take a try? Still have 3 other people here, right? And there's no compulsion. If you would not like to, it's totally cool.
It doesn't hurt them.
Or if anyone wants to try a different hat, that is also an option. So we could do one more activity at least.
It's funny because you have to put yourself in a different position and think differently. So for example, in the first round, I was positive. I can see how you can go through the same slides and see it in a negative way.
So just to that point, and also to what Abhijit asked, I'm going to probably say, I never thought I was creative, but I think it's creativity, just like beauty, is in the eye of the beholder. It's really how you perceive a picture is how the other person's going to see it, right? And that's going to bring the aspect of creativity. So for me, curiosity kind of adds a lot to it. If you can develop that curiosity, if you don't have it, but I think every human by nature is curious to some extent. It's just how much curiosity you have just varies. We all have it, and that's why we are different in different ways, right? Because we have it at different levels. I think I want to bring this slide just after saying that. I was experimenting with this activity just a couple months ago, also with a team. And this is, I tried one of these activities with different pictures, but I had this picture for sure in that. And can you imagine how many viewpoints I might have got just for one picture? Just a guess.
How many people were there?
6 people.
I'd say 6 viewpoints.
Okay. Any other number? I got 26 to 27 viewpoints and I
Yeah.
was shocked.
I was going to say 10. Okay.
I was just thinking to say at least 12.
I would have said there should be, I mean, given that we've just seen Edward de Bono's 6 thinking hats, I could think at least 6, right? Like also what George said. So one picture, at least 6. So I'll give you a couple of them that I remember because they stuck with me. So one of them was, oh, you know, these hats indicate the level of disruption of change that we're going to go through in our organization now. And this meant level of disruption of change. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Somebody said it's a screensaver saying that we've just been hacked. And that could be something, okay. Somebody said it's different colors, and for them, it represented the spaghetti change that's coming at them in the organization. Because, and when they were talking and they spoke through the slides, I was like, wow, now even I'm seeing it as spaghetti change just because you said it. I would probably not have thought of spaghetti change. Somebody said, what was it? Yeah, because it's like a hat stand, which is the obvious thing. But somebody said, oh, there's a human figure missing. So it's the invisible future we have right now, given where we are. So all we see is just the hat and we don't see the human in it. And that's where we are headed, interestingly, in the times that we are in today. So can you imagine just one picture getting at least those many perspectives? And we as change agents think that our perspective is just the only perspective that we're going to drive as change in the organization. And I'm like, what happens to the others? And that's where I believe most of the conflict starts to happen, or the frustration or the resistance to change starts in the organization, or starts to embed in teams or across the organization, where people think, oh, they're not seeing our point of view because this should be just done in this fashion. And we are like, well, they just might have a different viewpoint. Why don't we try and understand that viewpoint? Because all said and done, we are all human beings. We all have a different upbringing. We are not robots. We will probably be at some point. Well, there are enough movies to prove that that age is coming. The machine age will probably still be there. We're partly getting robots for the right reasons, but we're still human. We think different. Our brains function differently. We do what we do because we have a model, or people call it the iceberg model and whatever else beneath it. We don't want to get into the details, but we do things and behave in a certain way because we are tuned to do that in a certain way because of our education, our schooling, our upbringing, and everything else. So yes, we are going to have a different perspective when you bring the same picture or the same change in front of us. And it shouldn't be surprising. But having said that, we still come up with this question, they just don't get my point of view. My leadership never gets it. And then my leaders will be like, oh, these teams just don't get it. They should just do this. We've told them that. Well, first of all, I think change starts with us rather than them. It's never about the other person. It's about you first. So the question is about the I. But what we're trying to say is that perspective matters. And I like to bring this point because most of us struggle with this fact that we think our perspective is just the only one. But hey, when we have different layers in the organization, because there are different layers in the organization, they are going to drive change also and have perspective also for the same change in a different way. So yes, our role is then to get alignment across these different perspectives. And with that in mind, I would say a technique called perspective mapping that lean change management brings to us is pretty helpful, where we are able to facilitate through meaningful conversations, bring all these 3 different parties, if you'd like to call them that, together, And in fact, just bringing different individuals together is what I would say, so that they can have a meaningful dialogue with each other and not just throw things at each other. So we help them understand different perspective, build bridges amongst these different people. So just a quick look at how this could be done. Of course, if you go to the site called leanchange.org, you will probably find a lot of stories out there, case studies out there, everything's out there. But I thought it would be nice to kind of wrap this up with this kind of a framework or a model or whatever you'd like to call it. I just think it's a cool technique to bring to the table. I would do this in different ways. In fact, before that, let me just explain the different components that you see here. That'll probably be helpful. So I've got these 3 layers because you've got 3 different perspectives, at least, because the executives will talk about change in a specific way, managers will talk about it in a specific way, and the teams and staff would talk about it in a specific way. And it could be the same change. So it'll be interesting for us as change agents to figure out what is supporting the change. What do the execs feel is supporting the change? And put those things out as a post-it out here, bring their views, bring their perspectives there. And even there might be a lot of differences, even amongst the executives, why not? But let's figure out, what do they believe is supporting the change? What do managers feel is supporting? What do the teams believe is supporting? And in the same way, do the same thing about what's holding them back, right? In the simplistic of ways, I would say just do this at a minimum, and you'll probably find a common theme. As an example, I would say, maybe just a short case study, right? Or a short example to give you. One team in an organization I was working with decided to go agile at the team level, and they didn't really take permission from anyone. But overall, at an organization level, the whole organization was going to be transformed to agile. So the CEO, of course, had said, hey, we should go agile. Now that meant different things to different people. Go agile, right? It's a big thing. Now, while everybody was figuring this out, one team was like, yay, we've got the permission, let's just do it. So they went agile because they were really the movers and they just wanted to make change happen. They wanted to go with the change. And a month passed by, they did 2 of their iterations. And at the end of the second iteration, at the end of the month, they generally would submit a report to the business head. Now, the end of the month came by, the business head doesn't get a report. He's like, where the hell is my report? It didn't come in from this team. And so obviously he shouts to the IT head. The IT head is like, don't know why. He shouts to the PMO below him. The PMO is like, oh, you're right. We don't have that report from this team. They shout back at the team. And the team is like, yeah, we went agile. There's a tool. Just peep into the tool. You'll see what you need. Why should we give you a report? Well, it started this way. And I think you'll probably see this kind of a scenario happen in different ways in different organizations. This just happened to be in one. Now, everybody knew the go agile thing had happened. Now, I don't want to get into the be agile and do agile. Okay, those are separate conversations. But it was just, let's go agile. Let's just be agile in some way or form here. Everybody had the same cause and purpose. Everybody wanted to be somewhere. But I think there was some miscommunication. So all we needed to do as change agents, and we did so, we ran this kind of an activity, facilitated this activity at the different levels. We had to do this separately because of obvious political reasons. So you can do that separately, but then you have to get the people together, get them to see each other's perspective, bring that alignment through meaningful dialogue, through letting them understand why is the other person saying what they are saying. And they got it after that. So you figure out what common themes are going to come up. So if somebody's saying, oh, the same thing is in the support the change category from the executive's point of view, but yeah, the managers are saying, no, that's holding us back. So that's a great start. You're like, okay, we're thinking of the same thing, but in opposite directions. Why? So let's have a conversation. So as long as we are able to do that, that brings us alignment, and that allows us to move forward in a positive direction. So for me, that would be aligning a change with perspective mapping. I'll pause. I spoke a lot.
So what if when perspectives are seen, are understood, but they're still in conflict?
Do you want to give me an example?
let's say in that case, well, here it is, the reporting, and it is always there. Why do you want to be presented now in a certain form, or to be, you know, um, emailed at a certain time at a certain date? And the report is there, so the need for report is in alignment. But the method, the team, for example, is seeing it is there while the management wants it emailed, or so. What do you do? And that is just an example that I'm thinking, but what do you deal with conflict when perspective is there, but there is still conflict?
Sure, I think George would like to say something.
So I would approach that is what does that manager want to what does he gain by getting the emailed report? What is it? One of the things Dale Emery pointed out to me one time is that anytime somebody is resisting a change, it's really what's happening is they're trying to hang on to something that they value.
Yeah, so for them it's easier, right? They just have an email and they can sort on their inbox and they know how to find the status. Otherwise, now they have to remember all the links of all the teams and go there and where.
It's a push mechanism, so it captures it automatically. So they may not want to look at it right when it's generated, right at that point. They may want to look at a series of them over time. That may be what their concern is. And unless you talk to them about what's important about this, people ask for something that they think is a solution to their problem, or that has been a solution to their problem. And you have to dig down underneath of it to understand what's really driving that. Mm-hmm. And you may be able to get it in another way. So you might be able to set up a cron job that captures the data, from your system periodically and makes it available in an easy format. And so it satisfies people.
So it's about, yeah, go ahead.
Go for it, Artie, please.
No, I'm thinking like, so, okay, everybody gets their way, but now we add something else in the middle that makes both happy.
Yeah, but you have to understand what the perspective is before you can do that. Mm-hmm. If you just go against the surface level conflict, you're not going to find that. Mm-hmm. What is it that makes people not want to generate the report? Well, they see it as just extra work, right? It's there for anybody to generate. So why should they be the ones that have to go manually generate it? They can get out of that by automating the generation and having it happen automatically on a periodic basis.
I want to hear Sarika. I can go on and on, but yeah, yeah.
That was a very good conversation, because I would say 90% of what just happened were the exact questions that came in. And I'm saying 90%, that's a big number, because you have to start with the cause and purpose. And why is that what was valuable in the past? Is that still of value today? Now, obviously, the team didn't know that the executives had no idea that teams were starting to go agile or not, but they were like, oh, we've started doing this in a different way. So why is that report still relevant to you? And of course, as an outcome, at the end of all of those meaningful dialogues that happened and alignment that happened, the PMO actually said, yeah, it's this whole CXO executive. They don't want to peep into the tool. Guess what? They figured out from the teams what to click and how to generate that PDF that could be emailed to the customer, to the business head. And they just did that. And at some point, when it was all about seeing the graphs and everything, they started peeping into the tool. They were like, oh, but we can do this ourselves. We really don't need you. It took them time. We also had to educate them. We had to do a lot of senior leadership education for them to understand why this was good for the business agility. We had to get a lot of the horizontal in the departments, with which I mean the marketing, sales, and HR, to align with not just the IT teams going agile, because it doesn't make sense for IT to do agile and for the rest of the organization to just sit. We had to bring that alignment with business alignment, all of that happening then together for them to understand with the education piece, because we're always like, the teams have to go agile. We are like, no, it starts with you now. It's a great opportunity, and we're not going to put mandates in your, what do you call them? Those balance scorecards, etc. We killed all of that, so all of that starts to change. So to your question, 90% of all of this conversation happens, and that's the outcome that people move forward with. But that happens only through meaningful and open dialogue. Of course, there was a lot of, let's say, accusation. Oh, we didn't do this, you didn't do that. All that starts that way. Sometimes you want to let people vent it out too. But then you've got to get into constructive, meaningful dialogue. And that's what we are there for.
Mm-hmm.
Great question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments, feelings, experiences you'd like to share? Everything's welcome.
Yeah, I think in all of this, I want to feel like it is not just like, oh, we just hear each other and everything is easy and we get to a place where, oh, we find a solution. It requires a lot more, right?
It requires a lot of, I would say, one, political navigation skills.
Yes.
I would say that for sure. It's not written obviously in any book, but we all know it's needed. And I think clubbed with that, you need a good hold on how you facilitate, especially across the different caliber of people you're working with. And it's important to get to that, get that to start with the people impacted by the change, because you want to involve all those people together at some point. Now, are they going to talk nice to each other? Well, I've been in very tough situations a lot of times with one of the, you're recording this. I'm just going to say with one of the organizations I worked with, let's say in Europe, and it was tough. I was also an outsider completely there as a change agent. And I was like, okay, there's so much of pushback I'm getting. I changed my complete approach to facilitation just to move the change with the people. And I actually said, you know what, we're going to drive this change together with you, and not because this manager or that part of the organization is mandating it. Just making that one statement as a leader can change, or as a change agent can make a drastic change. And it was a big cultural difference for the people there working in those, I would say, 6 geographical teams, very different. And they were like, that's not a bad start. Okay, we can start with that. And then, people start seeing value in how you facilitate that approach to change. So I would say that's a great skill to have.
Yeah.
Of course, with everything else. And you can add in as many skills and competences, and I will not question that. I think one aspect that I would definitely say is needed is, and because I've seen a lot of that happen, just to add back to your question, Ardi, one needs to get comfortable with change, and one needs to get comfortable with uncertainty. Because as a change agent, a lot of people are also banking on us, and our approach to enable teams and people to move in a certain direction, just to nudge that change forward bit by bit. I think you need to be comfortable navigating that uncertainty, because a lot of times you don't know what you don't know. And you're like, yeah, okay. But everybody as a human being looks for certainty in everything. So you've got to see how to bring that balance.
And I'm going to guess that is not just for the change agents, right? It's for everybody. We want to bring all these roles into that.
Yes.
It's okay to be uncomfortable sometimes. It's okay to not have the things the way that we are supposed to, or we are used to have, right?
Exactly. But if you're driving the change, it starts with you, right? So, and if they see you uncomfortable, they're going to get paranoid at some point. Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm hogging. I don't know if the others want to bring their perspectives.
So while people still think of more comments and questions, I'd like to start already saying, so when I did this activity with the organization in question, where I brought the example from, the activity that we did on the perspectives, right, using pictures, we did that actually with all the layers of the organization. So we did that with all the senior executives. So yes, we had CXOs. That's a common question I get. Oh, but leaders don't do such fun activities. They do that. They play with Lego. They do weird activities. So they're all up for it. You just have to make sure, what's the jargon today? They feel psychologically safe to do that. That's the new jargon, right? Okay. But yeah, as long as they feel safe and you're able to, bring them to that starting point, I think it's fun. And people are able to bring their perspectives. So the way I did this activity with them is, so one of the leaders has been almost always against that change. And I was like, okay, so let's just pick up random pictures. And we didn't obviously do this over slides. We had a bunch of printed pictures on the table. So you can, of course, bring your own pictures and stuff, create it in your own way, and just put it out to them. Tell us, let's play this around. And the leader actually spoke to a set of pictures. He picked up pictures and he talked of his change journey. He was like, yeah, this team didn't do this, and that team has been pushing back, and we didn't get this report. So our customer has been calling upon us, and they were so wild at us. And he went on wearing the black hat, and you couldn't just stop him. To top that, the other leader then takes the same set of pictures and he puts on the most positive hat that you can imagine. Oh, but we got really positive feedback from the other 5 customers. If you got negative from 1 customer, we got really positive feedback from 5 others. Those 6 teams have been really slogging and they've still been having fun. They've done a great job. And they just went on. I was like, this is already a start. And you've kind of won half your journey on this. And I think it just feels so successful. You're like, okay, this is great. And that's where people start aligning. And then you need to show them that picture, even if it's through a fun game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's amazing what you hear, right? How I think to Abhijit's point initially, creative, you don't need creativity. In those cases, you are speaking reality, right? What happens to you?
And it just comes. And what happens is, I think as humans, we're really good with pictures. You look at a picture and you start thinking something, all you need to do is speak it out. Mm-hmm. And interestingly, there are a lot of people you might think who go silent or are naturally not speaking to text or data. They start talking to pictures. Mm-hmm. So you also bring more inclusivity with that kind of an activity. And yeah, you can add all tokens of fun to it. So when we did that with the teams, in fact, when I did this at Spark Toronto, we also had hats made into bags. So the same color bags, and we put chocolates and toffees in them. And yeah, it was fun. So whoever came and did that, talk, and we had, I think, 10 pictures to go through. And people wanted more time. So that was fun.
Especially with chocolates.
Of course. Okay, maybe a question, if there are no other questions, maybe a question back to everyone. So how many of you would steal and tweak this activity in your context? I would at least experiment with it.
I could definitely play with it for sure.
Mm-hmm. I would love to know how it went. What new learning comes out?
I would probably try a couple of rounds with just unrelated pictures, just fun pictures, and then one round with pictures that are related to them. So for example, a graph of a sprint, or I don't know, something like that that is really showing that they really are connected to. So a couple just to loosen up and for fun, and then one that is like, how do I really feel about this?
Would be nice. I saw Cheesy's hand also up there. So yes, okay. Any feedback? Would be good to know. We're done with the activity. I don't have anything more to share. And now I'm looking at all the chat.
Yes, the TPS report. Do you want to talk about that, George?
Oh, you're on mute.
The executive who wants to report it, they're not getting, reminded me of Office Space.
Yes. With how many people have you run this session before? Like, how big was the group?
We've run this, I think at the conference was in a public approach. At the conference was the largest. I think it was 15 people actually got a chance and 25 volunteered and were there on the stage. So that was fun. And yeah, you know, Spark doesn't have a stage. So yeah, everybody's just standing there. So yeah, 15 people managed to go through it. In private, in organizations, I think we've gone max to 60 to 65 people. Yeah, large groups. But then you need more facilitators. Just one person can't do it, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. And a facilitator per group, right?
Yes. So I would say, yeah, team size, again, I would go with our agile team sizes or Scrum team sizes. So keep it not larger than that. Otherwise, conversations are going to go, I don't know where.
Cheesy, are you getting ideas for your new teams? You are on mute.
I don't even think, you know, well, as my team just became a team this week, so they're still trying to get to know their teammates. So they're maybe not ready for something like this yet. So they're more of a, who are you, this person I'm talking to? That's sort of the stage that they're at right now.
You could use something like this to help them get to know each other.
I was going to say exactly that. I was like, change the pictures. Yeah, or another activity I've used for that is personal maps, if you've tried that. So yeah, that's a management 3.0. I learned it from there. So personal maps is fun. And then people who know each other for years learn something new about each other still. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, but if we are done, can I have one other question?
Yeah.
If you had one takeaway from today's activity, what would that be? And if no takeaway, that is also a takeaway.
Fun
That's
with,
for me.
fun with pictures.
Fun with pictures, okay. Thank you.
I think the pictures are important, which pictures you select, right? Because the ones that you had, they were pictures that would bring about thoughts or ideas or emotions, you know, like the tangled rope. Whereas if you put a picture of a cat, for example, it probably wouldn't be as thought-provoking.
Indeed. Yeah, you reminded me of Spark India, where I was just thrown into a karaoke, and it was like we were doing this in a break, just as an icebreaker. And actually there was a picture of the cat or cat there. And I was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to say to this. And I actually said that for that picture. So you literally reminded me of that.
George has things to say about cats.
Oh yeah, I think you could. I think it probably depends a lot on which cat picture you chose. You know, some of them only appeal to cat people, but if you showed a cat getting ready to push a glass off the edge of the counter, that would hook everybody. and that's probably a great one for a team that's about to undergo some change.
In fact, that reminds me of a cat picture I saw just yesterday by one of my colleagues in Lean Change. And there were two cats. I think it was at her place, or was it her friends? And they are removing socks out of a drawer, both of them. Like, that is so cool. Okay.
Helpful.
That resonates with change. Any other takeaways? Otherwise, we're done. I'm good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarika. This was a fun exercise, and it was a fun conversation. It definitely brings us back into having our scenarios and our situations that we work at with clients at work, wherever we are, and how to find new ways to get people to align or to deal with something that they're not feeling comfortable. So thank you for this perspective, and thank you for joining us, and all the way from India, coming here to us. Love to have you. Love this exercise. So thank you. On our next session is going to be Evan Leyburn. He's going to talk about management, and he's going to bring some of his perspective on how he started management and what he thinks is doing management wrong it is now. So probably join us for the next session next month in December, sorry. With that, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for the ones that participated, and see you on the next session. Bye.
Bye.